Rookie mistake there. What's going on, everyone? Steve JMO. It is a little past quarter of 7, actually. It is the 6th of November. It is 2019, and today we're just gonna talk about the Mandela effect a little bit. It is pretty late for me, so I don't want to get on here too long, get all fired up, and be wired for the next couple hours. But what we are going to examine here is the Mandela Effect movie produced in Hollywood, which is, not good for the Mandela Effect community, not good for the movement, not good for anything in it, because what do we know about Hollywood? Hollywood is just run by the mainstream. Who owns the mainstream? The banks. And who owns the banks? You already know. So this is just going to be one big controlled opposition film, I believe. But just another thing about Hollywood. Let's look this up. Where the hell are my notes? Wood of Holly. Oh, not holy. Wood of a holly tree. Of course, they're not going to show me what I want to find. Yeah, the magic of Hollywood. The holly tree. Yeah, repels evil. It does not do that, actually. Oh, this is really going to piss me off. I thought this would show up right away. What of a holly tree? Magic. There you go. Thought that would just be the first thing that popped up, but yeah, for all who didn't know, witches, warlocks, anyone in witchcraft or anything like that, sorcerers, they use the wood of a holly tree to cast their spells, make their magic, do all this other stuff. So you have that happening, right? This little play on words. And we have the Mandela Effect movie produced in Hollywood. Wood from the tree holly to cast a spell, to paint a certain view. Excuse me, to, like I said, put you under their spell, make you think the way they think. And this movie is just going to be one big discredit. So let's just go through this and we'll talk about what we see right after.
Sam.
Hey, Sam. Stay where we can see you.
Becoming parents gave Claire and I a greater sense of purpose.
Whoa.
Every day brought with it new memories, each one sacred in its own way.
It doesn't feel real.
I know exactly what you mean.
Dad? Dad, I'm scared.
I think I'm going crazy. I saw her.
Maybe you should think about talking to someone. Like a grief counselor.
When Sam died, I began to notice these inconsistencies. Do you remember where this was taken?
Yeah, it's Griffith Observatory.
I swear, I remember taking this photograph, but we were in Seattle. How would you feel if you could no longer trust your own memories? You remember the children's book when you were growing up about the family of bears?
The Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain. S-T-E-I-N.
You've been hard to reach lately.
I just started noticing some things and...
Like what kind of things?
We're living in parallel universes.
Can you picture the Monopoly Man?
Yeah.
What's on his face?
Monocle.
Apparently, it's never been the case. The Mandela effect. Either we're sliding between parallel realities, or like a simulation, and it's glitching out.
Do you hear yourself right now?
Maybe it's in my head, Claire, but what if it's not?
maybe none of this is real. What the hell is going on? I'm not crazy. I need to know the truth.
What makes you think this is gonna bring your daughter back anyway?
I design games. I code. If this is a simulation, I mean, if this is code, then I can do something.
It's no small thing shutting the world down. There's something you're gonna need to understand. Ideas are dangerous things.
Alright, so what did we take in from that? I'll tell you what I took in from that. I got a bunch of notes that are... Yeah, the lighting's pretty shitty in here, so I'm just gonna turn that off. And alright, so like I already said, this is just 100% disinformation. And why wouldn't it be? Because it comes from Hollywood, like we already covered. Wood of the holly tree. It used to make magic wands from witches and warlocks and sorcerers and all that Harry Potter shit that you think is fake, but you know, a couple hundred years ago, that shit was crazy. So, is what it is there. But this trailer makes me think that they're trying to make the Mandela effect look like some sort of psychological operation. Like it what is it? It validates the people who are claiming these are just misrememberings, because we know it's not that. It's so crazy how this works. This movie is a psychological operation, because they're gonna get everyone with this movie and just be like, just write it off as either A, misremembrance, or B, we're living in a simulation type deal, which is ridiculous. But yeah, so my next point here was, yeah, high push on the simulation theory. He mentions parallel universes, so those are, you know, not one and the same, but what do we know about both of those? Both of those just pretty much they are set out to disprove the story of creation with their own little spin on things, you know, because if this is a simulation, someone did put us here, you know, obviously, but I don't believe this is a simulation, because there's no glitches like that, you know. Like, there are small glitches in the Matrix, like you have stuff like JFK changing, and this movie's not even, it doesn't even look like it's gonna touch on any of the real big Mandela effects. Like, I understand that the Monopoly guy's monocle, that's pretty big, and the funny thing about that is in the movie there's a ton of residue of it. And there's residue of the Berenstain Bears book. Obviously that could all just be CGI added in, but it's put there to show you what reality once was and what it has, you know, quote unquote, shifted to in this parallel universe pushing movie. It's ridiculous. So, just by watching the trailer here, they're making this main character look out to be batshit crazy. So if you do believe the Mandela effect, you're going to be a Looney Tune then like this guy. And there's another Mandela effect right there, Looney Tunes. Go look it up, people. It's Looney, Tunes. Doesn't even make sense. Because cartoons is Toons, and it was Looney Tunes. But, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, you had some residue in there. You had Berenstain Bears, bunch of other stuff. The Monopoly monocle. They didn't go too far and, you know, show us other stuff in there, but I'm sure once this movie, you know, comes out, you can download and all this stuff, it'll be even crazier. But let's get back to the parallel universe simulation thing, because at one point in this video, I don't want to put it back up again. I'm afraid I'm going to get a copyright strike, so let's just leave it to what it was before. You can go back and check it out yourself and you watch the video yourself. But they show some sort of D-Wave type computer, some sort of super AI bot computer that seems to be taking credit for the Mandela effect in this movie. And what that does for the Mandela effect is take it from a spiritual aspect, which I think it really is, and makes it a man-made thing. Because, well, some of them I think are maybe not man-made, but there's some sort of like, Brian Staley put it really good a couple weeks ago. There's like a tug of war with the Mandela effect. For every one that's put out on the spiritual side, there's one that's put out with this stupid, crazy residue, because some of them don't even have residue. Those are the pure ones. And the ones that do have residue, I think, are the ones that are being mimicked, are being, brought forth by possibly D-Wave, CERN, whatever it may be. It could just be some demonic fallen angels working together and changing our reality, giving us the formula to the spell, or all the right mixture to the potion, or however you want to put it. And we throw ours, they throw theirs in there, and it has all this residue because it can't keep up, because it's not perfect. It's not, you know what I'm saying? There's always two sides of this coin, but one side of the coin is just off by a little bit always. And there's some Mandela effects that are literally impossible and have no residue. Like the map of South America, I remember South America being, south of America, but now it's southeast of America. But if we already covered that in a different show, I don't want to get too off topic today. I just want to stay on this movie. So, like I said, it shows a D-Wave computer sort of taking credit for this Mandela effect, and just taking all the credit away from the spiritual side, which is the side that we need to understand is the real side, the side that we're supposed to see. Because honestly, a lot of people don't see this Mandela effect, and I don't know if it's because they just can't, or they choose not to see it. Even though the facts are laid there in front of their face, they choose not to see it, because God did give us free will. So if we want to be ignorant and ignore the truth in front of our face, let them be ignorant. They'll have to pay a price for that one day or later. And I'm not here saying that I'm the most perfect person in the world. That who am I to say that the judgment's going to come upon them negatively? It is what it is. I'm not the best person, but I'm not the worst person. I've done some shitty shit in my life, and I feel like doing this is a way to give back at that, because this information here is just mind-boggling. And for me to just sit here and not give any of this information out, I feel is dishonest in a way. You gotta do right for all the things you did wrong. I feel like this is going to do some right, because it's going to resonate with some people, and it's going to resonate with another person. We could wake up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more people along the road that we're going to need, because this is a spiritual battle, and I think it's just beginning. It's going to get crazier and crazier as the years, the months, the days go on, because every other day there's some other crazy stuff in the news, in your neighborhood. It's everywhere. These anti-Christ agendas they're not going to stop. They're going to make Christians like me and other people look ridiculous, and they're going to it's going to be like it was back in the Old Testament or the New Testament, when Christians were getting stoned to death and all this other shit, So let's where were we here? So the D-Wave, and whatever, gives credit to mankind and the machine. So it's just taking all credit away from the creator, who's most likely causing this Mandela effect. And if it's not him, it's angels that are under his name working for him. Maybe they're just showing us these things so that we can understand that this is just more than a physical battle that we'll be fighting. And so we have, this little D-Wave type computer taking credit for the movie. In reality, in our life, we have CERN, who's trying to take credit for the Mandela effect, as in a video that CERN put out about a year or two ago. There was one CERN scientist. He had sign on it that said Mandela, and underneath of it, Bond number 1. And in the first James Bond movie, there is a Mandela effect. So they're alluding to the fact that they're causing it, but I think that's just disinformation. Whatever CERN is actually doing is most likely very demonic, as they have a statue of Shiva in their front lawn. But it is what it is. And another point in this, in the trailer here, it pushes the none of our reality is real agenda. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want you to be a conscious being. They want you to think that none of the stuff that we're here even matters. So you might as well do what you want. Do as thou wilt. They want you to think that way. And we can't think that way. You got to be looking out for the people you love, for your neighbors, for, you know, you can't be self-centered. And that's what they want. They want you in a self-centered, materialistic world. And they want you to live and think that way too, because we're already in the world. But if we can just think differently, we can break free from all that. But it's very hard. So it's all just a Satanist, Antichrist agenda to hide God's creation and keep us consciously asleep, I think. Because, what other way to... But they've been hiding the Creator for years. They've been doing it with the flat earth movement, because if you wake up to the idea that the earth is flat and space isn't real and all the stars revolve around you and you are the center of the universe and you are special, made in God's image, if you never realize any of that, you're falling right into their plan. And they're trying to do that here with the Mandela effect, because they know the Mandela effect will wake everyone up spiritually. So they're trying to keep the Mandela effect materialistic. They're trying to keep it like human, like man-made, like self-brought on, like something with the D-wave computers and technology, 5G, transhumanism. They want you to put all that together and come out with the idea that Mandela effect is either a misremembrance or a simulation brought upon by the D-wave computer, which is claimed to have found like 100,000 parallel universes to ours, which I find ridiculous, because like if that was the thing and we were jumping into other timelines, like shit just wouldn't be working right. Like I would have to hit the off button to turn things on, or I would hit reverse and my car would go straight, and I'd flick my lighter and it would be water. None of that stuff is happening. So you can just take all of that and take it for what it is, because they want to discredit the Mandela effect truthers and the Mandela effect itself, the movement. And they've been doing it for years, even with the name Mandela effect, because Nelson Mandela was a great deceiver. He was not sure if he was a Freemason, but he was in the Knights of Malta. So just another guy you gotta take him for what it's worth. And having the name Mandela effect with that, it should be called the Black Tom effect, or the fucking Tom Hanks effect, because every goddamn Tom Hanks movie has a Mandela effect in it, or alludes to a Mandela effect. So they just want to normalize the Mandela effect as not being a spiritual warning, awakening, whatever it may be, but they want it to be normalized as a man-made physical in this materialistic world, that we made this, look what we did because we're the best, and they didn't. But like I said, there are some Mandela effects that are coming from the other side, because the spiritual battle is not just all from one side. We all know that in the spiritual realm, there's good spirits, there's bad spirits, because the bad spirits are the ones that are trying to mimic the good spirits. They're trying to make you look over here when you should be looking over there. They want you to go down all these rabbit holes and never come out, So, or come out with a completely wrong answer and understand it as fact, and then you're just beat from there, like the globe deception. So, you just gotta take it all for what it is, I guess. It's a crazy world we live in, it's just gonna get crazier. So if we just, get on the side that, excuse me for 1 second there, just had to readjust my glasses, but still gotta do that. There we go. Like I said, it's amateur hour here. But yeah, the Mandela effect, it's not 100% man-made. If anything, maybe like 20% of them are being man-made. The ones with residue are, in my opinion, highly, highly questionable from not being from the creator, because, like I said, there's so many perfect, like just incredible, impossible Mandela effects, and there's some that just you could find residue, within 2 minutes. So those are the ones that I think are imperfect, that are from the darker side of the spiritual realm, that are sent to mimic what God is sending us as signs. So it is what it is there. You gotta take you gotta take everything for what it's worth. But I'm gonna get on out of here. You guys have a good night. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. Take care.